So we bought this property for £555,000. Initially it was a 4-bed house that we are converting into a 6-bed all-en-suite HMO. Not only that, it came with planning permission to build a 1-bed house next door. The build cost is going to be about £350,000. That takes us to £905,000. And we've had a GDV of £1,170,000, giving us a profit of about £260,000. This will provide us with a rental income for the HMO alone of £65,000 per year. In today's video, we are going to show you how to make your deal stack like this one. We're going to show you how to work out a commercial valuation. And for those of you that stick around to the end, there'll be a free download of the Savoys Deal Analyzer spreadsheet that we use on every deal. It's important to crunch your numbers for every deal you come across, particularly in the tough market that we're in. The landlords that survive are the ones that treat it like a business. That's why we don't buy on impulse, and it's important to carry out due diligence and look at your comparables. So the first step is we reverse engineer. We get a property, we work out what the gross annual rent will be. We then work out the GDV. From that, we're able to understand what the development cost would be. And then going from there, we then decide what we're willing to pay for the property. So when you found your potential project, the first thing I do is look at the floor plans. I try and work out how many rooms I can fit inside that property. I then take a look at the room sizes. Can I fit an ensuite in the room? Because if I can, then I can often charge more for the rent, and this will contribute to a higher gross rental income. So when you know how many rooms you can roughly get inside your property, what I then do is I've got to look at comparables. So I want to know how much each room is going to rent for. So I do this by looking at Spare Room, that's a very good one for room rents, Zoopla and Rightmove. Here I get an idea of what rental I'll get per room. The next step is we want to roughly work out what the GDV will be. So we do this by taking the gross annual rent and we deduct all the operational costs. So most valuers will deduct around about 20% to get the net income rent per year. We then take this net income rent and divide it by the yield of a specific area. This will then give us the GDV. So to elaborate a little bit more on the yield is a percentage, and this will often vary from area to area. So the smaller the yield, the higher the commercial valuation. So for instance, in this area that we're in now, the yield is about 7%. So you can ask your broker, he'll have a list of what yields are for different areas, but how they work it out, they take the average rental of comparable properties in the area and divide that by the average value of comparable properties in the area. They then times this by 100 to get a percentage. So for example, in this property that we're in now, the number of rooms within this HMO will be 6. The gross room rent will be £900. Therefore, the gross income rent per month will be £5,400. Times that by 12 to get the gross income rent per annum is £64,800. So now we're going to minus off the operational costs, which we've done at about 20%. Valuers like to do it at that, but usually your operational costs will be lower. So we're going to minus off £12,960 to give us a net income rent of £51,840. At this stage, we'll divide the net income rent by the yield for the area. So that's £51,840 divided by 7%. So how we do that is £51,840 divided by 0.07, and that will give us a commercial valuation of the property of £740,571. So now you have an idea of what rental you should get for your property and what the GDV is likely to be. The next stage is what you need to do to get to that end product. So what work needs to happen to the property? Do you need to do a rear extension or a loft conversion, or do you need to reconfigure the current floor plans? At this point, you know what you need to do, you just don't know how much it's going to cost. So what I would do is put it out to tender to local builders, get them to come in, give you a quote, so you can get an idea of what the development is going to cost you. And remember, always add a little bit on top for contingency, because there might be stuff that you hadn't encountered and hadn't put into the schedule of works that you have to pay for. And remember to include other fees such as building control, building warranty, architect fees, legal fees, conveyancing fees. They all need to be included in the budget. Now you have a rough idea of the development costs. You then minus those development costs from your GDV, and then that leaves you with an idea of what you'll be willing to pay for the property. So now, once you've had your offer accepted on the property, You or the lender will then instruct an independent company to come out and give an actual valuation of the property. So it should be similar to the one you've worked out if you've done it correctly. So once you have the official GDV of the property, you then can decide whether it's worth moving forward with the deal or not. What we often do is we provide the value of a pack that will detail comparables, what we plan on doing to the property and what we hope to achieve with the property. For those of you that have stuck around to the end, we have attached a download link for you to download the Savoys Deal Analyzer. Now we use this for all of our deals, and now you can use it for your deals to make sure they stack.